Sports Talk, Sports Talk. Here's your host, Alan Michael.
It's time to play ball.
Welcome to show number 2 out of 3 tonight on Sports Talk, Sports Talk. I am Alan Michael Tazinski. Thank you for joining me on this marathon of an evening, doing some makeup shows, missed Tuesday and Wednesday, and the perfectionist that I am refusing to just let those days stay blank on those podcatcher gimmicks and on the sportstalk.com website. The Pirate game is starting, and I'm ready to give some rapid-fire hot takes for show number 2. Show number 3, I don't know, you'll have to wait and see what the hell I do there. But for show number 2, we got to kick it off talking about the thing everybody's been talking since Wednesday, a hot Wednesday in July, and it was announced that LeBron James was signing a deal with Warner Brothers, and that, yes, Space Jam 2 is in the works. Now, Space Jam, the original, is going to be extremely hard to top. It will never be topped. It's impossible. It was perfectly cast. It's Michael Jordan, Bugs Bunny, when Bugs Bunny mattered. Do kids even like Bugs Bunny anymore? Do they even know who the hell he is? Wouldn't it be more relevant for LeBron to have signed on to face or team up with SpongeBob SquarePants? Or the Fairly Odd Parents? Is that still a cartoon? I don't know. But Warner Brothers signed LeBron James. LeBron and Bugs are teaming up. And man, those Looney Tunes, they're like the Spurs. They get better with age. So LeBron, Taz, Daffy Duck, Sylvester the Cat, Wile E. Coyote, Porky Pig, they are all teaming up for Space Jam 2. It should be epic. I have not seen the film, but LeBron James is in Trainwreck, the new big summer comedy out right now. Everybody's giving him high praise for that. I have a lot of questions about Space Jam 2, though. The rosters need to be filled out. Who do you put in these spots? Who do the Monstars abduct and steal the talent from? What NBA All-Stars will the Monstars steal the abilities from? What comedians will LeBron team with? These are significant questions that need to be answered before this film goes into production. And if I can just throw out my 2 cents on who the rosters should be, if I could play Space Jam general manager, there are quite a few names in the NBA, a lot of funny guys, a lot of personality in today's NBA. It's the league where you're allowed to be yourself. But I'm not going with the oh-so-obvious choices, except maybe one. So for my Monstars roster, and I'll close it out with who should be the comedian teaming up with LeBron. But the Monstars roster is of the utmost importance for Space Jam 2. And Space Jam 1, of course, we saw Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Larry Johnson, Muggsy Bogues, and Sean Bradley. So a whole lot of big guys on the Monstars. So that's probably why they lost the game. They didn't really have anybody who could shoot the ball besides Grandmama Larry Johnson. Muggsy Bogues was handling well, but it just the middle was way too clogged up with Barkley, Ewing, and Bradley. I think this Monstars team needs to be more well-rounded. It might be all shooters. If the Monstars want to win in today's Space Jam, in today's NBA, they need to go the Golden State Warriors approach, right? And they just need a plethora of shooters and hustlers. But most of all, they need guys who will be good in the roles. That's the most important. I mean, how hilarious was it seeing Patrick Ewing in that tiny wheelchair? And Charles Barkley, I mean, you don't get more entertaining than Charles Barkley when it comes to basketball players. So everybody's first choice for Monstars 2 is Blake Griffin. If you go on the internets, every blog, everybody's saying Blake Griffin's already read for the role. He's already ready to be in Space Jam 2. Blake Griffin is funny. His commercials are good. I don't think of him as a player, as one of those top-tier NBA guys, but that's not the discussion. The discussion is he right for the role on the Monstars squad? I think Blake Griffin, with his hops, if you give Blake Griffin's ability to an alien, I think he's easily the greatest Monstar there ever was. And he's going to be funny. So I definitely want to put Blake Griffin on that roster. For the other spots, this is going to be a more well-rounded Monstars team than the last one. So you need a really scary guy on that Monstars team. And although he plays the same position as Blake Griffin, he's more bruising, he's more intimidating, and he is never in a good mood. And that's perfect for the Monstars squad. And I am talking about DeMarcus Cousins. Now, if you could get Boogie Cousins onto the Monstars, into this film, to cooperate, to get along with the director, which is going to be the hardest thing to do, because we know he does not get along with George Carl. He doesn't get along really with anybody in authority. But if DeMarcus Cousins can be channeled by Danny DeVito, hopefully Danny DeVito is the only reoccurring actor in this film. I think Danny DeVito's the guy that could go in deep into DeMarcus Cousins' brain and get him to cooperate and play team ball with the Monstars. So DeMarcus Cousins is my second choice to join Blake Griffin on my Monstars squad for Space Jam 2. Now, the last Monstars squad severely lacked speed. Muggsy Bogues, and that was it. So Monstars 2, taking on LeBron James and the Looney Tunes, they need somebody who could handle someone who's quick and can shoot. So you got to go with the NBA MVP Steph Curry, right? He's perfect. He's cocky. He could be the cocky one. The shooter. He's going to be shooting balls that are on fire. They need to incorporate NBA Jam stuff into this film too, might I add. The last movie had no references, nothing with NBA Jam. NBA Jam married to Space Jam is best for everybody. If Warner Brothers and Midway can get together, I think it'll be great to have the commentators at least be the guy, whoever he is from NBA Jam, going, he's on fire! That's the Monstars 2 with Steph Curry on fire. That is going to be a much better squad than last time, because they got embarrassed last time. They were the heavy favorites. They faced a bunch of animals and Michael Jordan, although not without controversy. See, everybody wants to talk about A-Rod, and they want to talk about Barry Bonds and Ryan Braun and the baseball steroid guys. But what about secret sauce? What about Michael Jordan's secret sauce? Not enough is made about this. Now, he tries to play it off that it's water at the end of the movie. But I'm not going to believe it without some sort of scientific proof. It said secret sauce on the bottle, if I recall. And all of a sudden, they turned it around and won that game. Now, Bill Murray did show up. He probably had a lot to do with it. But Michael Jordan and PEDs is not too far out of the realm of possibility, especially if you've seen Space Jam. Space Jam 2 should be careful to send that kind of message to children. So we've got three guys on my Monstars squad for Space Jam 2 right now. We've got Blake Griffin. We've got DeMarcus Cousins, the bruiser. Steph Curry, the cocky shooter, ball handler. Number 4, now, I don't like him personally. I don't like his tactics. He reminds me a lot of Paul Pierce, whom I cannot stand. I respect him, but I don't have to like him. And this guy's a lot like him. And I'm talking about James Harden. That beard was made for cartoons. James Harden on the Monstars would be perfect, and he would fill a role that no one filled on the last Monstars squad, which is also important. We need more speed, more talent, not just these big oafs on the Monstars. I mean, Monstars fans have been clamoring for a change to the roster for a long time, since, what was it, 1996. when Elmer Fudd is making your team look as bad as he made them look, you're in trouble. Elmer Fudd is like the Brian Scalabrine of the Space Jam roster. So if he's scoring on you, you just put your head down. And then you've got, and then on the Looney Tunes side, Elmer Fudd, at least he'll see the floor for like 3 minutes. But if the Monstars this time around, if Foghorn Leghorn gets on the court, they should be embarrassed. Foghorn Leghorn is the guy waving the towel, jumping up and down and dancing after every three-pointer that Wile E. Coyote's making. So the Monstars need to have a rounded roster. And they've got a pretty good one so far if they're using the roster that I have assembled for them. James Harden, Steph Curry, DeMarcus Aldridge, and Blake Griffin. That leaves one roster spot left for the Monstars, whom only have 5 guys. They don't need bench players. And the only guy I want to see fill out that last spot, the leader of the Monstars, the perfect villain, the guy who could be the heel, loves playing the heel, loves being the jerk, gotta be Kobe Bryant. I don't know if Kobe's gotten over this entire Denver, Colorado thing, and it's made him such a salty old man, all the hate he's gotten from it. But if Warner Brothers is willing to shake his hand and let him sign the paper, Kobe Bryant on the Monstars makes perfect sense. Kobe Bryant in Space Jam 2 takes this movie to a whole nother level. Sure, LeBron James is going to sell tickets to movie theaters whenever he's in a movie. Everybody wants to see LeBron. But if you tell people LeBron and Kobe are in the same movie, that is like putting Magic and Bird in a movie if they ever could. This is a huge opportunity. Warner Brothers needs to capitalize on it. But I don't know. I don't know if it could happen because I do not think Kobe Bryant is going to want to sign that paper and sign on to lose to LeBron James on film. Even in a fake game, I don't think Kobe Bryant wants to go down. He's a winner. And even as a Kobe fan and a Laker fan, I'd be willing to sacrifice Kobe looking like a loser in this film just so that he could save face with America. I mean, the hatred he gets is absurd. It's on the level of Barry Bonds. The guy's the greatest player that you or I have ever seen. Way more talented than Michael Jordan. He's just a jerk. But I don't care. And Kobe Bryant needs to be in Space Jam 2. Along with those other 4 guys. That's your Monstars roster. And then you need a comedian. You need someone to fill the Bill Murray role, which is impossible. It's impossible for someone to come into this movie and be as hilarious as Bill Murray was in the first Space Jam. Golfing and playing with the backwards baseball cap. Nobody's going to be able to do it as well. But if I had to pick a modern-day comic relief guy to be LeBron's best friend, then I guess you got Will Ferrell in this spot is the logical choice for me. It's going to sell the most tickets. It'll be really bizarre. He's tall enough. He's been in basketball movies before. Semi-Pro, the most underrated sports movie in the history of sports movies. Love me sexy. Come on. So many people have not seen Semi-Pro. It's better than, I mean, most sports movies. It is up there. It's up there with Caddyshack for me. Better than Happy Gilmore. It's better than a lot of these movies that people love. These sports comedies. I mean, it's on major league levels. That's how good it is. So Will Ferrell will be my Bill Murray for Space Jam 2. But Space Jam 2 should be off the hook. Space Jam 1 is iconic. And Warner Brothers, whenever it comes to the Looney Tunes, they protect them really well. I think only like once have the Looney Tunes come out and looked foolish, and that was that movie they did with Brendan Fraser. I've never seen it, but it looked real bad. But Space Jam is untouchable. And Space Jam 2, I don't see how you could screw that up. You're not Charles Barkley. You're just a wannabe who looks like him. Listen to Sports Talk. This is Makeup Show number 2, Thursday night, July the 23rd. We missed the 21st and 22nd, so we're making them up. And then one more show coming at you after this as I watch the Pittsburgh Pirates take on the Washington Nationals. Starling Marte with a man on. Marte Parte. Man, I really thought he could have been MVP of the NL this year. This was supposed to be his breakout year. Whole half of the season left. Okay, Space Jam 2, that's my first hot take for this second show. My second hot take is in reference to this.
The Marlins put a general manager in their dugout. People freaked out. You know, like, whoa, it's baseball. You don't think a general manager can manage? Like, it's impossible? The game is too complex? Like, I've never bought into that baseball's just too complex. Really? A third of the sport is from the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, okay. That's Colin Cowherd, who just got a giant contract to switch over to Fox Sports. And this is on his ESPN radio show, ranting, raving about Dominicans, I guess. And what a jackass. Like, I don't even... Okay, it's fine to say that sort of stuff. Like, you should know, like, say it like not on the air. Okay, you're a racist idiot, but you're a media professional. Don't say it on the air. And like, for him to get all the money he's getting, to be that ignorant publicly. I don't care if he's privately a racist and he's part of the KKK, but when you're on air, you act professional. And to make that comment that's so amateur and lame, and is he just begging for a reaction? Now, I've never, ever sat and listened to Colin Cowherd's show. And I work in sports talk radio. I've worked in it for nearly a decade. And everybody has a different opinion on him. That I have no opinion on him because I've never heard him. And it's a Marte Parte, baby. But they always say this. It's always the same thing. I hate him. He's a jackass. Well, hearing that, I probably agree with that. And then the other people say, I like him because he makes you think. That only makes me think, wow, this guy is a moron and doesn't know how to not sound like a jackass. I don't like people who go on the air and aren't careful with their words. This is the social media age. To go out there and say stupid shit like that, I don't know how this man is deserving of $4 million. I don't know how a big corporation could get behind someone saying something like that, pay him all that money, and then excoriate dozens of other people for stupid reasons a lot of people are just destroyed by these companies, by ESPN and Fox, with no merit. Reputations are ruined. This guy is ruining his own reputation, sounding like a moron. Completely going, this is worse than Donald Trump. Donald Trump comes out and says some of the Mexicans coming over are rapists. He kind of made it sound like he was saying all of them were rapists, but he at least kind of tiptoed along that line. I think what Colin Cowherd said here, he sounds like way more of a moron. And this man obviously, most of all, hates baseball and baseball culture and doesn't understand it. So then he just goes on a hot take about it because baseball people probably don't like him. But yikes, this man is getting paid millions of dollars now to leave ESPN and go to Fox Sports, where I'm sure he will fit in. And going on to more racist hot takes, here's a funny one I just found. There's a Russian soccer player on a Russian team who was suspended for flipping off the crowd and he flipped off the crowd because they were making monkey sounds at him and calling him a monkey and throwing bananas at him. He flips them off and he gets suspended. The Russians are Neanderthals, acting like Neanderthals themselves, and they get to sit in their seat and watch the beautiful game. This is the world we live in, ladies and gentlemen. Colin Cowherd on all of your airwaves, all across America. All of these great stations pretty much carry Colin Cowherd in any city you're in. And then Russia, one of the... there got to be what? That's got to be like a top 5 league in the world. I don't know. I don't follow the leagues in soccer as much as I used to. Try to stick to the international game. Although that gold, I don't even want to anymore after that Gold Cup yesterday. But the Russian league tolerating that. Yikes. We got show number 3 coming up shortly. Last hot take I got for you. I wake up this morning, I go to profootballtalk.com, which is I have a love-hate relationship with this website, but they do have all the news, and it's the quickest. And the headline I see is, Steelers extend Mike Tomlin. Okay, I'm not even going to get into the Mike Tomlin part of it yet. I'll save that for the show number 3, the actual Thursday show here on Sports Talk. I'm just talking about the headline. My hot take on the headline is, please, Pro Football Talk, do not call me a little kid for giggling at other stuff when you are, every single time a guy signs a contract or signs an extension, you say, so such and such club extends this guy. I'm going to giggle every time, and you cannot persecute me for having the sense of humor of a 13-year-old. Because when I read that, I'm thinking naughty things. Like, wow, the Rooneys must really take care of Mike Tomlin. Why not just be professional and do the right thing and just say it how it should be said? The Pittsburgh Steelers sign Mike Tomlin to an extension. It's just lazy reporting as far as I'm concerned. And I'm going to giggle every time I see it, and I don't care who thinks I'm an idiot for doing it. All right, we're going to come back with show number 3. Thanks for downloading this. If you downloaded it on the podcast version, it's on all the podcatchers, iTunes, Stitcher, Podomatic, if that's one, I don't know. But every single one that's out there. sportstalk.com. I'm here live on a Thursday night, July the 23rd, talking sports with you. And the next show is going to be the most important sports talk show of all time. Why? Because it's the next sports talk show. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you for show number 3. I am Alan Michael, and this is Sports Talk, Sports Talk.